Okay, we'll talk about this TikTok thing. Somebody had asked about it, but I actually intended to do a video about it anyway because I find it alarming that they want to block TikTok. I don't use TikTok. The only social media I'm involved with is YouTube, and I'm barely involved with that. I mean, I think this month would be 13 years I've been on YouTube, and I think that's long enough. I'm ready to get rid of this. And the way they're pushing you on YouTube, yeah, I think that's in the future. Okay, the idea of banning TikTok or of them having the ability to do that should scare the hell out of people. There's enough censorship. We don't need more. My fear is, this would just be like the foot in the door or the camel's nose under the tent. Things are only going to go downhill. I know they really got their eyes on Twitter, or X as they're calling it now. That annoys the hell out of them, that they can't control that. They'd love to do something with that too. But the biggest fear that I have right now would be the next thing they're bound to go after is going to be RT. When they talk about adversarial, they really don't like RT. RT is blocked in a lot of places. A lot of places in Europe, Ukraine particularly, but Ukraine, everything is state media in Ukraine. They don't allow anything else. But I know like the Baltic countries it's blocked, and I think the UK blocked it. I consider RT to be one of your best sources of news. They have been for a long time. It's funny because a lot of times I'll see something on RT, and then maybe a day or two later, I'll see somebody do a video on it on YouTube. But you will always get your information, the straightest version of it, the soonest on RT. They're just a really good news source. And it's funny because people like Ron Paul has done stuff on RT, George Galloway, Jesse Ventura. Interesting thing about Jesse Ventura too, I know he is being considered for RFK Jr.'s vice presidential pick. Interesting. It's just interesting. It's an odd choice that I hadn't thought of. But he's also considered Tulsi. Now, the problem is Tulsi's actually kind of talking to Trump. But like RFK, his problem is he really shut the bed with his views on Israel. A lot of people were kind of pumped up about him, and then he's got this real pro-Israel stance, and that kind of put the kibosh on that. And Jesse Ventura has got the opposite view, so I can't see them working together. But like I say, I'm concerned about RT. I've had problems before. Like Google will do an update to my phone, the Android system, and all of a sudden RT is gone. Well, I found I have to go to RT's website and download the app directly from RT. Then I can get it to work again. But it's far and away the best source of news. There's no comparison. But they will shut that down very quickly. I could bet. It's funny when they talk about this TikTok. Oh, it's a spy, and it's like the Chinese spy balloon, which they admit was just a weather balloon, but they still refer to it as the Chinese spy balloon. But now, it was like a week or maybe 2 weeks ago, there was another balloon that turned up in, I think, like Arizona. And oh my God, they scrambled some NORAD fighter planes up there. Well, they just said, no, it was just somebody, a hobbyist with some little old weather balloon. So this one they didn't bother to shoot down. But the interesting part, when that happened, immediately they turned on the transponders for all of the what used to be Google Loon balloons that got turned over to the military or the government. And so all of a sudden they showed up. And they are, our government's property now. They don't normally run with the transponders on, only if they're descending or ascending, when they have to come in for service or when they leave the ground. But once they're up that high and there's nothing flying up there. But they panicked and they turned on all them transponders, and all of a sudden you see they got like 40 of them. They're all over the world spying on everybody, including us. There's always some of them over this country. And that's, they're stealing all your data. I mean, that's what they're for. They're there to pick up every cell phone conversation. Whatever they don't manage to get with the drones, because they're constantly flying surveillance drones over the United States to spy on you. And then you're worried about China. I'm not worried about China getting information. I'm more worried about our government getting information. But like I say, this is a bad road to go down. And the bad part is that when they bring this up, all these people are on board with this. They don't look at the actual, what they're actually doing. But that's a bad road to go down. Start banning stuff just because you can. And once you give them the ability to do that, because the idea is then they could do this, once they get this law into place, then they have the ability to do it without any oversight. They could just ban whoever they don't like. And there's a lot of people that don't agree with them, which is a good thing. But they don't want you to hear the other side of the story. They want to. It's like if you ever listen to Voice of America or Radio Liberty, it would freak you out. They're what we broadcast over in Europe and in former communist countries, saying how we're the nice guys, according to them. But it's all propaganda. In the same way, like they say that RT is sponsored by Russia. Well, I listened to the public broadcasting service here, NPR, which is sponsored by the government. You pay for that. But we have a channel that comes out of our state college. And the bad thing is there's a guy who does a music show on there that I really like. It's like 4 hours a day, and the guy has excellent taste in music, and it's great to listen to. But since it's an NPR station, when they switch to the national stuff, or even some of their locally produced stuff other than this guy's music show, it's all liberal propaganda. It's just horrible stuff. It just drives you nuts. But that guy has got a really good show. But the rest of it is just garbage. It's so funny because when you know the whole story and you listen to them telling you half of the story, it really makes you kind of mad. It's funny too, like what I say about YouTube, how they're getting bad, almost to the point of being intolerable now with their ads. I mean, they just plaster the ads on. It's hard to watch stuff. But I noticed that one day I was looking, there was a video I was going to watch it. Here comes that context box. They always have a little warning, that, and it's with the information out of Wikipedia. And if you're getting your information out of Wikipedia, you're in tough shape. A lot of that is just bullshit. But this particular context box was to do with the WEF, with the Great Reset. Now, according to this context box, this Great Reset was a response to the pandemic, to try to get things back on track. Well, this nonsense with the WEF have been going on since the 70s. That's how you got all these people like Trudeau and all these people in office now. They've been working on that. Between them and Soros, they've been working that direction all the time. And now they're trying to say that this whole eating the bugs thing is a result of the pandemic. It isn't. They made use of the pandemic, but this whole scheme was hatched long before this pandemic ever came up. And, it brings you to question the what caused the pandemic. Was this a accidental release, or was this just part of the grand scheme of things? That'll probably get me a context box. But that's a badge of honor now, and you get demonetized. There again, another badge of honor. YouTube is getting bad, and it's only going to get worse. But if they can get this in, this is like unlimited ability to censor stuff. It's a horrible idea. Like I say, I've gotten used for TikTok. It doesn't interest me at all. But I can see where if they could get, like if Facebook could buy it, or if YouTube could buy it, get into TikTok, because YouTube or Google now, they have to use their shorts, which again doesn't interest me at all. But that was in response to TikTok. Well, if they could get rid of TikTok, Google would be happy. Google is not your friend. Not at all. That's a hell of a mess they got things in. Just I look at like the politics of this stuff that goes on, and it's just a freak show. Which is why I keep thinking, I've had enough of this YouTube nonsense. I really am a lot happier not having to deal with it. Well, I better quit. I'll go on too long. A lot of other stuff I can bring up. A lot of stuff bugs me. And see, that's what I like to use YouTube for that. If I can talk about it, I can get it off my mind, and then I'm done with it. It's still there, but at least I won't be thinking about it anymore. But talk about it all you want. It isn't going to do any good. They're still going to do what they're going to do. But this, the good thing is going to, it's funny because, to ban TikTok, claiming this is a tool of the Chinese spy, and at the same time, Biden is using it for his campaign because he thinks this is going to get him to the young people, where he can be the kindly old wise grandfather, and he is none of that. He's just an idiot. But they don't like you telling you that. Yeah, you're in for a world of hurt. And like I say, I'd like to just be not part of it, just to get out of it altogether. And I pretty much can. Like I say, YouTube is the only thing I'm involved with. I can ditch YouTube, and I'll be perfectly happy. like with this election coming up, though, it bugs me. The chances of this being a fair, honest election are nil with the technology they have now. And then you want to give them this little more extra power? Oh, God, there's not a chance in the world. You can't vote your way out of a mess like this. If you keep trying, you keep thinking, dreaming, hoping, it ain't going to happen. That's why, like I say, I really have no love of Trump. But I want him to get a little revenge on these people. I would like to see that. It would drive them nuts. And that's like I say, you can't hope to get somebody really good in there. I don't think such a creature exists. Though, like I say, I've always been fond of Rand Paul. Well, I liked his dad, and I like Rand. And that would be a good step in the right direction, but we don't take steps in the right direction. We always take some god-awful detour and then wonder how we got where we are. I don't know. I think we'll take a ride on the motorcycle. Been nice weather. I've been putting miles on. Be a good time to do it.